Hello, my name is Dr. Arlene Kent Wilkinson. I am a professor in the College of Nursing at the University of Saskatchewan. Did you know that the College of Nursing at U of S here has a historical nursing artifact, a medicine chest, that once belonged to Florence Nightingale? And it has been in Canada for over 100 years. It's my pleasure to tell you about the medicine chest that we have here at the Saskatoon campus. It does seem hard to believe, but it's a cabinet-style medicine chest claimed to have belonged to the founder of modern nursing. And it apparently was taken by Florence to the Crimean War with her in 1854 to 56. The existence of this medicine chest here at U of S is maybe one of the best kept secrets here, because perhaps we secretly are skeptic if this was really true. Here is the medicine chest in the display case at the College of Nursing. You might ask, as we all did when we first heard and saw this medicine chest for the first time, is this really true? Did it really once belong to Florence Nightingale? And how did it get here to Saskatoon, of all places? I was shown the medicine chest when I first moved to Saskatoon in 2002 for a faculty position. I had the same questions that everyone did. The only small bit of information we had was typed on a white information card in the display case with the chest, which said, "This chest came to the School of Nursing after it was given to the College of Medicine by Dr. and Mrs. H.D. Weaver in 1956. It was given by Miss Nightingale's sister, Lady Verney, to Mr. I. Milson, the gardener to the family. Mr. Milson came to Saskatoon to do landscaping for the city sometime about 1890 and eventually gave the chest to Dr. and Mrs. Weaver." The story with the chest still seemed questionable, but over the years we have proudly shown the medicine chest to new faculty, students, and to visiting scholars who take pictures and also wondered, too, how authentic this claim really was. But the years go by, and every 10 years or so, a small article is written up in the campus news about the medicine chest at the College of Nursing and its famous owner. Nursing faculty are all busy teaching and doing their own research in their focus areas of nursing, diabetes, dementia, mental health, child health, aging populations. For years, we all walk by the medicine chest, and no one thinks of this as a research project. However, still, the medicine chest waited for us for decades to uncover its mysteries. Then, in 2018, I had a conference in London, England, and while there, I toured the Florence Nightingale Museum. This museum opened in 1989 and is located across the river from the Parliament buildings in Big Ben and near the Westminster Bridge. The museum is on the on-off bus city tours, so easy to find. The museum is located right in front of the St. Thomas Hospital, and that's where the training school started that Florence Nightingale started in 1860. This museum celebrates the life, work, and history and legacy of the best-known figure in nursing, Florence Nightingale, with a collection of over 3,000 exhibits. While at the museum, I, of course, specifically was interested to find out if they had a medicine chest on display there. I found that they did have one, and it was one of their feature exhibits. But it was a small medicine box and much smaller than the cabinet-style one that we had. But it did look as if it was in the same era and may have been a companion chest. I began to realize that there could have been more than one medicine chest, feasibly 2, 3, or more, as Florence took 38 volunteer nurses with her to the Crimean to care for wounded soldiers, so she would need more than one. Medicine chests are often owned by affluent individuals for home or long journeys. There was different types of medicine chests: long, narrow boxes, square boxes, and cabinet-style ones. Some were very simply made, and some were very elaborate. They were constructed from wood by highly skilled cabinet makers in the 18th and 19th century. And then they were fitted out by chemists and sold at apothecaries in London, England. Many people wonder what the medicine chest was used for, and it does say in detail what ingredients were in it in the small medicine card that was in the display case in the museum. It just says that Florence took this medicine chest with her to the Crimea to use by herself and the nurses to care for soldiers. Still, we did not think of the medicine chest as a research project, although for years we did have research questions. They were, did this medicine chest really belong to Florence Nightingale, the one that we had? Did Florence Nightingale take this medicine chest to the Crimea? Around the year 2020, I started to think of other questions I was more curious about than the medicine chest itself. I wanted to know about the people that were gifted the medicine chest over the years. Who were these people, the custodians of the medicine chest? Who was this Lady Verney? I did not even know that Florence Nightingale had a sister. What were the first names of these people? Because only initials appeared with the information card. Mr. I. Milson, Dr. and Mrs. H.D. Weaver. Was Mr. I. Milson married? Did he immigrate to Canada by himself, or did he have a family? What was the relationship of all of them to Florence Nightingale and to each other? So I began to look at genealogy databases, Ancestry.com and MyHeritage.com, and that includes a lot of marriage certificates, death and birth records, and Canadian or country censuses. Suddenly, the people came to life with their full names and dates of birth. And then the Saskatoon Daily Star, the Star Phoenix had a series of articles over the years about either the custodians or the medicine chest. The information was much easier to find now than it would have been 40 to 50 years ago. In 2022, we applied for and received a SSHRC Explore grant, exploring the secrets and provenance of the Nightingale medicine chest in Canada. I was the PI, and Helen Vandenberg was the co-PI, who has a focus in history. We had a research assistant, Letitia Johnson, from the history department, a PhD student, and also in 2024, we had another research assistant, Lige Jago, from nursing. The research methodology we used was material object history, and that model includes an archival document search, which I had already done, and a step-by-step analysis of material, construction, provenance, function, and value of the object. And we also gained evidence of the authenticity of this chest through these archival documents and a qualitative component, which was by finding living descendants of the custodians. And they validated that the family story and that connection to Florence Nightingale was true. The research also included an examination of the medicine chest, and professional pictures were taken. Here are some closer pictures of the cabinet-style medicine chest that we have on display. This is a picture of the front of the cabinet with the doors closed and open, and there's cubicles inside and one drawer expanding the bottom. At the back of the medicine chest is a secret compartment that opens by a sliding wood panel, inside which could have been concealed the dangerous drugs and poisons of the day. The medicine chest, as you can see, is only in fair condition, as it appears to have been well used in its time, what actually helps with the credibility of the chest. In July of 2023, we replaced the yellow felt with green felt and updated the information card with more accurate information from our findings, and also added a QR code. You can scan the QR code to learn more about the medicine chest and the mysteries our research revealed. There are PowerPoints there about one, the Nightingale medicine chest, more about its description and use and its size. Number two, Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing herself, more about her history. A third PowerPoint on the custodians of the medicine chest in Canada. They actually were quite prominent citizens in early Saskatchewan history, so that's interesting to read about. And a fourth PowerPoint on the research project itself, more detail about the research that we did and our findings. The final PowerPoint is all about our future plans we have for the medicine chest. We plan to have scholarships and a foundation for the chest, scholarships for students, and what future plans we have for the Nightingale medicine chest. There are many people to thank for the success of this project. A list is provided here. Thank you so much for listening.